going to talk about some modified sports. So I'm going to teach you some more secrets of the activity director and skills. What happens is that we have to have exercise group. But exercise group gets really boring, and we have a hard time bringing people down to it. But when we switch it over to a game or something, a skill that we know that they can do, or a skill that we can adapt for them, and I'll show you how to do some of the adaptations with a wheelchair, they get kind of interested and they have fun doing it. One of the things that you can do to keep exercise from getting boring, especially if you have your dementia patients, is to take cloth. These are old napkins that we're going to be thrown out. And what I do is I give everybody a section of it. So it goes all the way around the circle. So people on the other side where you are sitting can see what I'm doing. And what we will do is this will be all together in a big circle. And I will say, okay, let's move our hands to the right. Let's move our hands to the left. And now they feel the pull. So if they don't by language understand what to do, they are now visually seeing me do it, and they're feeling the little tug and their hands will move. What is good about this is I'm not forcing anybody to do the exercise. If they get in pain, they will let go or drop, or they won't want to do it. But the person next to them will be still hanging on. So it's a good way to make sure that I'm not hurting anybody while I'm making them or allowing them to move. So again, you go back and forth, you go up, you play peekaboo, you go down, you can roll it around, you can roll it this way, you can roll it back. Oh, that feels good actually. And then the other thing that I like to do to keep them involved in it is I will take my part of it, this over here, I'll take my part of it and I'll say, okay, let's put it on our feet. And now we can do this, up and down, or I can do this, or I say kick with your left foot, can you get your left foot up there? And now they can kick with their left, oops, I almost lost it. I can kick with my left foot. It keeps them engaged and they don't feel like they're being forced to do it, and they're going to get a lot of movement out of it. Because the most important thing for us to do is to make sure that 3 to 5 times a week, we're giving them some gross motor movement. And that is a fun way to do it. When we're done with this game, I then take it and I say, okay, boys on that side, girls on this side, and we have a tug of war. Now, what is hard for the guys is if you have more girls than you have guys, throw a couple of the girls on the side or go help the guys, because they hate to lose when they want to think how strong they are. But they really do have a good time, and they brace their wheelchairs. And I have even seen when the guys think they're going to lose, they reach down, they put their brakes on, which they're not supposed to do. That's not a good thing to do. That's not fair now, is it? So that I wanted to share with you, just because it's something that people don't normally think about. The other thing that I would like to share with you is that when we play ball with people, a good thing to do is take your ball and loosen some of the air out of it. And if you'll excuse me for a minute, I'll pop up and get our ball. Okay, I can't find our regular ball right now, but what we usually do is we will take the air out of it so that they can grab it and put it against their chest and then throw it. And if you find that ball, we will demonstrate again for you. The other thing that I like to do when people are one-handed and can't always catch things, and I'm going to throw this over at the audience over there. Get ready. You know what this is? This is a rubber chicken. I just did that and everybody smiled, right? Because you don't expect to see a rubber chicken. This is a great thing to be able to catch if you're one-handed. So I'm going to throw it over there to Melissa. She'll catch it and hopefully she'll throw it back to me. So here it comes. Okay, throw it to me and I'm going to try to catch it with one hand. Now notice what happened. I had to reach forward, keep my balance, and catch it with one hand. And that very often happens if I don't have a hand that I can use. They will, when they do the modified sports, because they don't want to lose the point, or because they don't want to be the goat who lost the point, they try really hard. So please, make sure that you set up some modified sports in your games, in your activity program after the exercise group. Start some exercise, whether it's Tai Chi or yoga, gentle stretches, or your regular exercise exercises. Do those first, and then start your modified sports, because when they fight for a point, they move a lot more. So this will make everybody aware. I tell them to squeeze it. When the other aides hear this game going on, they hear this going, they send down more people. So it just makes people laugh, and it's something different, and it's really fun to do. So I would encourage you to do that. I just like squeezing it. So. Okay, so do that one. The other thing that I'd like to show you guys before we get started with the games that are on the floor is I'd like to show you the tennis. So let me reach over here and get the net. This is a net that I made. You can order them from S&S, but they'll charge you about $45. And they have nice stands and everything, but I found that buying this material at the fabric store and trimming it off and putting some ties on it works very nicely to tie it in between two dining room chairs. So then I can tie it over there and over here. And now I have a badminton net. I can tie it a little higher, or I can keep it down low and I can do volleyball. And when you're doing volleyball, I would encourage you to put a little helium in the balloon, or use a large beach ball, and again, let a little bit of the air out, so that if they only have one hand and they need to scoop it up, they can pinch it and then get it back into play. I have seen old ladies, tiny, frail old ladies, play volleyball with me, and in order to get it back over the net, I see them kick their leg like they were Rockettes, because they don't want to be the one that doesn't get the point. And when we play volleyball, I modify it. You can hit it as many times as you want, as long as it doesn't touch the ground, and get it back over the net. Just, you extend the rules, shall we say. You're just going to extend the rules to the game so that people can play and feel successful. The other thing that I will do with this is I will make a badminton net out of it. So I tie it up again across, and if you can find them, go to Goodwill and get the wooden rackets. So this is a regular wooden racket. I had the men's group saw this off and sand it for me. That way it wasn't too large, so when I have people playing badminton, I have them a little bit farther apart so they're banging into each other. The reason I'm suggesting this is because these will be durable. I know that many of you probably have gotten the wire hangers and put the nylons on top of it and made rackets out of those, but they don't usually last very long. So I encourage you to get all your equipment to look adult-like and real-like and not goofy-like. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is make sure that you have some modified equipment. Now, what I should do with this is paint this white and red at the bottom so it looks more like an adult birdie. This is a regular birdie, and some of the people can use this. Other people prefer to use the larger birdie. I got another birdie to choose. Okay, so this makes it very easy then for them to hit it around, and I'm going to hit it over to anybody who can get it, and here it comes. So, okay, let's talk about how we're going to do this. This is in my way when I want to do it, right? So there's no reason why I can't lift this up. And as long as I have good support across the back, now I have a lot more mobility. Same way with throwing the ball. But if you have somebody who has trunk support problems and they may fall over, this is the one time that you can take a gate belt, put it around them, so now that they can move their arm, but they're not going to fall over. So you ready? Here it comes. Easy enough to play. And, I don't know. Go ahead, throw it back, see what happens. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. I wasn't ready to scoot up. So, but that now gives people the chance to, I can't say really enjoy their wheelchair, but learn how to manipulate their wheelchair so that they are more flexible and independent in their wheelchair. And that's always a good thing, they need that. The other thing that I do with my brackets, just to kind of let you know, is every once in a while when I'm playing a game, whether it's a trivia game, or whether it's a game that we're playing and we're working points on, sometimes I will do this. Yay, you got the point. No, you didn't get the point, okay? This makes it very clear where we're at in the volleyball game, okay, when we keep score. So that's important. Those two things are important. The other thing that I'd like to share with you, if you can ever find one of these, I encourage you to get these Magic Doodle or Etch-a-Sketch things, because your residents, when they're playing for games for points, you know, they don't really need a prize. They need the praise, and they need the recognition. So when we're doing games, I write everybody's name, and I give them their points when they get a point. And the reason I'm telling you to get one of these is because you probably have a lot of whiteboards, but OT and PT or the nursing department will come and say, hey, I need a whiteboard for communication in so-and-so's room. And then even if you buy them at the dollar store, they're gone, they're not in your room. Nobody has ever borrowed this. And I don't think they ever will, because it's pretty gross looking. But my residents love it, whether we're playing bocce ball, whether we're playing basketball, whatever we're playing. They like to see their name up. They like to see their name with points after it. And what does that do? That's raising their self-esteem. And isn't that just as important as a physical movement? Because if we don't have why, they want to do something, we'll never get them to do it. So that I would encourage you to do. And so we'll start with the first game that I have on the top. Many of you probably have, let me slide this over here for a minute. Many of you probably have a horse game. And I used to have horse games too, and they were small and they put them on top of the table. Well, if they're small and they put them on top of the table, that doesn't give people very much gross motor skill, because they just pretty much watch you move the dice down. So what I do then is I have a large dice, and we'll roll the dice out. And when we roll the dice out, we're doing this kind of movement, or we're doing this kind of movement. And when somebody throws it to the next person, they catch the dice for their turn, they're doing the catching thing again. So that's important. And then from the physical therapy department, I have stolen these because they borrow so much of my stuff. I feel that I should be allowed to borrow some of their stuff. So I have 4 different colors, and these are my 4 different horses. I have at times put different decorations on the top of these, sometimes pumpkin decorations, sometimes just goofy little wigs, sometimes I actually put a little horse thing that we've made that we slide into the top so that they ride the horses down. And they roll out their dice, and then we move the dice down. Now sometimes I will let them come up and move their own dice if they are safe to reach down and be able to do that. Other times I will move it for them. But just the fact that they are sitting up, they're engaged in the game, and they're moving their arms is forcing their trunk support. So that's why this is a good modified sport. We'll go all the way to the end and back. One time I decided in order to incorporate a little bit more of their cognitive skills, on the way down when we rolled the dice, we were adding the numbers together. On the way back, I asked them to subtract the numbers. And one of my little ladies in the middle of the game as we're coming back, she said, "You changed the rules. That's not fair." And I was just amazed that she caught on that I had made the change in the game and they were using now a different skill, which showed her perception. So that was really good too. So I've used this board game, and sometimes I have big plastic shoes, any little plastic item. It doesn't always have to be the stuff that I've stolen. But any little plastic thing can be a marker, just like you have a regular board game, you have different markers. So that's been really helpful to do that. The other game, the next game that I'd like to show you, we'll move this one aside now.
Where can you get that board?
What?
Where can you get that board?
This,
Yeah.
oh, the question was asked, where do I get this board? This is not a board. This is one of your tablecloths that you had from a party.
Okay.
And what I simply did is on it, I put electrician tape. Knowing that these colors are too dense together, the next time I probably would have used white and black, but I was looking for, bright colors. But sometimes people have a hard time seeing the colors because of their colorblind. So that might be a change that you might want to make. Okay. The next game that I'm going to show you is, Twister. And Twister is pretty easy to play if you're not playing it the way teenagers and adults play it by getting down on the floor. But what we do is we take the board, and this is what amazed me. Lots of times, too, we're doing gross motor skill, and we forget that these people cannot do fine motor skill. Fine motor skill is moving their fingers or grabbing things. And so one of the things that I like to check when I'm doing this is, can they do this? Could they play marbles? Could I make a little board with dirt in it and have them flick it and play marbles? And the other thing that this is good for developing your detective skills to find out where they're at. I also want to see, can they tell where it actually is? Is it on the line? And can they tell me what color it is? This surprised me. I was amazed at how many gentlemen, by the time they're 70 and their 80s, are having colorblind problem. But it also, women are having trouble with vision. So, or the other thing is they may have forgotten the name of the color. And that is a good cue for us to realize, okay, they're making more of a progression in their dementia diseases. So, whether they flick it like this, or whether they flick it like this, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give them a ball of the same color that they flicked, and I'll grab one of my plastic balls, and I will say to them, I will give you a point for every time you can hit the green. So this makes it a lot easier, a lot harder, because now they have to negotiate how much farther can I move over here without bumping somebody else. And I only got one out of that. But most of the time they'll get one or two. And then again, I'm going to put it on the board and add up the points. So that becomes a very fun game to play. You also can use Bing bags to do this one. What I thought was really amazing one time and showed the perception of one of my residents. Her name was Edna. And Edna looked at me. This is a fun game, she said, Connie, but you know what? I bet you I can get them all. And I said, okay, we'll give it a try. So I gave her an extra turn, and wouldn't you know, she got the blue one, and she said, I can get them all. And she goes just like this. And she rolled right down and got 6 points. That was fair. She got them all. I said, throw the ball. I didn't say how to throw the ball. So there you are. Again, this is another opportunity. Every time we're doing sports where there's a little bit of competition, a little bit of, oh, show me what you can do, or look what I can do, that type of thing. It shows their initiative. And remember, Alzheimer's people maybe may not be able to express, or people with dementia can't express very well. But if they have an idea and they want to do something, they try to figure out the most creative ways to do it. So kind of watch for that and know that that's a good sign. Okay, let's next move this one out, and we're going to play bocce ball. So, excuse me for a minute while I move this to the side. And I'll pick up these balls too. Here. Now, you can go to S&S or to one of the other stores again, or catalogs that come to you, and you can buy a bocce ball game. And it'll run you probably about $75. And that's really great, but I found that the stuff that I buy and purchase, sorry to say, that looks really nice, sometimes my staff borrows and takes it home, and they use it, but they sometimes forget to bring it back. So one of the cheap solutions to doing bocce ball, and this is very easy, this is just indoor, outdoor carpeting, and it's not even the real expensive stuff. It's really kind of cheap. And I think I paid maybe $1.99 per foot, per square foot. So it was very inexpensive to do. When you play bocce ball, you're supposed to hit the balls in between two pinballs. But when we're doing it in a nursing home or in a modified way, I have all the wheelchairs around here, and we have our pinball in the middle. And we'll put this like right down here in the middle. And then everybody will pick out their ball, and they'll take a turn. And I have several different colored balls. I have a couple balls that, again, as adaptive equipment. This one's a little bit smaller, easier to hold, and it's squeezable so they can grab onto it. So everybody gets their ball. And what makes this game fun is that the object of the game is to roll your ball as close as you can to the pin and not touch it. So to your black pin ball there, you're supposed to roll your ball as close as you can and not touch it. What will happen, what makes it very interactive, is I'll roll mine out, and I'll be pretty close, and then the next person will roll theirs out. Let me see if I can really far away. Now let's try for another close one over here. Oh, that person's out. But what sometimes happens is somebody will roll their ball, and it'll hit one of the other balls, and I'll either move it farther away and change the dynamics of the game, or I'll move it closer. At this point, I'm going to try to move it closer, so let's see if I can. No, I couldn't do that this time. I got one more chance, so let me see if I can get this one over here. Oh, I'm such a lousy player. But they have fun because it changes the dynamics. What looks like somebody who's going to win will end up not winning because somebody will hit them a little bit farther away. Very similar to what you do when you're playing croquet. It's sort of like, I don't know if it's skill or if it's revenge. But anyway, they're having fun doing it. So go ahead and know that you can do this game. Okay, if there's no questions on this one, I'm going to pick these up and oh no, wait. Yes, I am going to pick this up and we're going to change this court now into a So now we're going to do our golf game, and like I said, or if you didn't catch it before, you buy these from Rite Aid. They come with two putters, and they come with about 3 of these with the daggum. They have the open area. And so I will go around that and put out the greens in different areas. And let me see if I can set this up and get a hole-in-one or close to a hole-in-one. I'm going to line myself up. So again, I'm working with my wheelchair and I'm going to keep my eye on the ball and I'm going to lean forward and I have to have the strength. So this is helping me again. I would need a restraint if I didn't have the trunk support to do it. Oh, I really want to make this. Well, that's one. See if I can get it in there. You didn't see me bump that, did you? No. Okay. All right. Now let's see if I can get it. Oh, I'm such a bad golf player. So you got to. That's why I think they like fishing. At least that's what I've been told by my husband. Leave me alone. I'm in my nothing box. And I just want to work on this. I'm just going to practice my fly casting. I've seen him when he first started fly casting do that in the backyard for hours. Just hours. So I figured, this might be a good thing for my residents to do. So what I did is I went down to Goodwill, and this is just for, I think, about $1. I got this rod. It does not have a reel on it. Some of my gentlemen can use a reel, but you will notice here, this again is adaptive equipment because it's not a regular fishing line, but it's a line that people can see. And when we do the fishing game, I don't use real hooks. What I have on here is a little bit of Velcro. I know that other people have used magnets, but Velcro is a little bit lighter and easier to cast. So before we could actually do this fishing game, we had 2 sessions where I had the guys teach me, about different fish. And you can buy a fishing game, and again, it's going to cost you quite a bit. But what I did was I took these outline drawings, they were black and white pictures, clip art, and I blew them up and I blew them up to probably about 600%. And then we took one afternoon and they told me, okay, well this is a bass and this is a pike and this might be a smelt. And what we did is we took these black and white drawings and we chopped them in and we sprayed them so that the color would stay on them with a little bit of hairspray will make your color stick. And then after that dried, we went and we laminated them. Many of you probably have laminating machines in your room. So we made a whole bunch of these. And so we throw the fish out. Oh, that's a cheetah fish. It doesn't have a marker on it. Now, I told you about the Velcro on the end of my pole here. Right? You saw the Velcro on the end of the pole? Well, on each of my fish now, there's a little bit of Velcro. Sometimes it's on the head, sometimes it's down here on the tail. So we'll put that fish out, put that fish out, stop with that trout, with that big trout in there. Or helped in some way if we exercise more frequently. And I would not say what a time limit is, but safely, whatever they can endure to do. And I would encourage people to come down and do different exercises at least 5 times a week. If they come and play for 5 minutes, that's great. If they come and play for 10 minutes. It is amazing to me how a person will start in an exercise group, can only throw the ball maybe 5 feet, and after they come a couple of times or by the next month, they're throwing it 10 feet. Or if I'm sitting in the middle of playing volleyball with them and they're trying to get the ball past me, all of a sudden they are really whacking that ball. And it's just delightful to see them, their confidence build up and their physical endurance build up. So that's what we have to offer in modified sports.